Welcome back to round 9 of the Abstrakt Sales Academy. I'm Ben Newman, and you know I get so fired up to be with you each and every single round to go to the next level of greatness in your life. Now today I wanted to start with a story. I'm sure you figured it out by now. 9 rounds in, I do enjoy sharing stories. Now this story takes us back to 2010. I started off the year 2010 with big goals of things I would accomplish in the insurance and investment business that I was still a part of. So for many of you that don't know, I performed at a very high level for over 10 years with a Fortune 100 financial firm. I was in the top 2% of sales in that organization. It's what's given me part of the ability to be with you, to share sales secrets, the mindset it takes to the next level, to get to the next level in sales, because of success that I've had in sales my entire life. So I want to share these stories to get real with you, but for you to also to understand I've been to the top. I know what it's like to sell, and I still have to sell all the time. But this story was before I had left the company I was with, before I retired and I sold my practice. So let's take you back to 2010. I started off this year, I had these big goals. I had goals on the insurance side of production to make a club called the Court of the Table. So people who are successful in the insurance business, they're members of what's called the $1 Million Round Table. It's the top 6% of performers in the world. Now, I don't share these things to impress you. It's to impress upon the point that the concepts I've been sharing for 9 rounds, they can take you to the next level because I've been to that next level. I was a member of the $1 Million Round Table every single year that I was in the insurance business, including the first year that I was in the business. I ended up starting to produce at typically 2.5 to 3 times $1 Million Round Table production. So not the elite of the elite in the entire world, but probably in the top 1.5, top 1%. Court of the Table was 3 times $1 Million Round Table production. So I had this big goal to make Court of the Table for the first time. I had fallen short the year previously by a very small margin. Learned so much from that experience. Just like for so many of you, you oftentimes learn so much when you get knocked down or you fall short. Oftentimes that's when we learn more than the times when you actually achieve the goal. So here I was, 2010. We got out of the gates quick. I mean, I'm telling you, in order to hit the Court of the Table, you needed to do about $525,000 of premium. That's selling premium dollars, $1 every dollar, $525,000 of premium. Through the first 6 months of the year, we were at $310,000 of paid for premium. I'm telling you, you're on top of the world. You're like, man, we are ahead of the goal. We are ahead of where we need to be. Now, I was also running a speaking and coaching practice like I do now with 100% of my time. I was first hired to speak in 2006, so I was running both of these practices. So we had just come out with a new book. Things were rocking on the speaking side. Things were rocking on the insurance side, way above being on pace to hit Court of the Table for the first time. I had just qualified in the company that I worked with for their top 2% of that organization to go to an elite meeting. And I'll never forget, I'm on the phone with my wife, and I share with my wife, I say, babe, we are on fire. Things are going awesome. Take my word for it, like, don't ever do that. Just stay humble and just keep working. Stay humble and keep grinding. If things are going really well, don't celebrate the highs too high. Don't celebrate the lows too low. Stay humble and keep grinding. Because the first 6 months, they were awesome. But the second 6 months, ooh, baby. It's hard to even talk about it. It was like every time I would sell something, something else would negate what I had sold. It was like I wasn't even moving. Now, for those of you that are in sales running a business, I'm sure you've been there. I'm not the only one who's been in that period of time. If I am, then you guys aren't working hard enough. I know you go through that challenge. It's where you feel like you just can't move and you're working your butt off. Literally, I would sell something, something would reverse. I would sell something, something would reverse. Sell something, it would be negated by something else. It was the craziest period of time. Now, in the insurance and investment world, when you sell something, oftentimes they pay you up front. So when I say reverse, that means I would sell something and then it would reverse, it would be taken away. They'd literally offset each other. So would you believe the second 6 months of the year, I sold $190,000 of premium, but $175,000 of premium reversed. That netted out to $15,000 of total paid for premium. Even if you don't even understand paid for premium and all these things, it doesn't matter. Here's the point in simple terms. It wasn't generating enough revenue to pay the bills. I was going backwards in terms of my business. It didn't feel good. I felt knocked down. I felt like I couldn't get back up. I didn't know what to do. I felt pressure. I felt stress. And I would wake up every single morning going, gotta make a sale, gotta make a sale, gotta make a sale, gotta make a sale. It is no place that you want to be in a sales career. And I was forgetting what I was out there teaching, which was the most successful people have a passion for the process of what they do, and they drive that process. They're intentional. I wasn't being intentional other than being intentional with trying to figure out when my next sale would come. I got so backwards mentally. I got so backwards financially. I literally felt like I'm on the mat of life. How the heck am I going to get back up? I'm being real with you guys. This is 2010. That's not that long ago. So yes, you can look and you can say, okay, we'll read a bio, we'll look at books. He was writing books during this period of time. He was speaking. But you know what? It was tough. Success is tough. If somebody told you success was easy, they're lying to you. It's good old-fashioned hard work, strapping on those work boots, doing it on the days when you don't want to do it, and having people there to pick you up off that mat of life when you feel like you can't go anymore. And I was blessed to have my coach, Dr. Jason Selk. He was right there with me. And I'll never forget the conversation I had with him. Jason says to me, he says, Ben, he said, how many times are you dialing the phone a day? I'm like, are you kidding me right now, Jason? I'm like 7 years into this business. I don't need a daily dial goal. I just do the dials that it takes to get it done. He says, that's not clear enough. You need to be more intentional. He said, remember you gave me a book by a guy named Al Granum, a legend in the insurance and financial services industry. He says, you gave me this book by Al Granum, and it literally tells you exactly what it takes to be successful in the business, and it all starts with picking up the phone and dialing. A silent business generates no revenue, everybody. A silent business generates no revenue. What does that mean? If you're in a sales career, you better pick up the phone and pay attention to the voice that you're putting out into that world to let people know what you do, what you sell, and what your value proposition is. I wasn't doing that as much because I was so stressed by when the next sale would come, holding on too tightly to results. Jason challenged and challenged. He said, you need to have a daily dial goal. What's your daily dial goal? He broke me down until I committed 20 points of contact a day. Now, I call them points of contact. It's a text message, phone call, email, any way that you're putting it out to the world, what your business is, what your value is, what you can do to help people. I committed to the 20. That 20 started to get me up off that mat of life every single day. It helped me reconnect to the process that it would take to drive success. There was so much business that had reversed over that 6-month period of time. I ended up for the year netting out at $325,000 of paid for premium. Think about that. Not even close to the $525,000. But I learned so much that year. And I've been getting knocked down my whole life. My parents divorced when I was 6 months old. Many of you have heard my story. If you haven't, go back to previous rounds. Losing my mom 11 days before my 8th birthday, my mother coming to the dinner table with an IV stand to ask me how my day was at school. This small circumstance of a 6-month period in time in business would not hold me down. It was trying to break me. And just like those other periods of time in my life, I had people there to help get me up off that mat of life. Just like for you. It doesn't matter where you are right now for your year, 9 rounds in. What matters is what you believe that you can accomplish with the time that you have left. If we look at your year as these 12 rounds. So don't give up. if you're far away from where your goals were. Don't give up if you feel like you're in that period of time where you can't get out of it, because you can. I'm living proof of it. Because maybe I missed that big goal, that big club for that 1 year, but you know what? Because I recommitted to the 20 points of contact, I recommitted to the things I could control in my business, just like we talk about a prize fighter day for all of you every single round. It was that next year I got back to what was called the Forum, the top 2% in this Fortune 100 financial firm. The reason why I got back is because I was open to being coached, I was fighting to get a little bit better every single day, and I was focusing on the things I could control, the process, rather than holding on too tightly to results that I couldn't control. I'm going to tell you a story before we finish today about the fact that I believe in you. I believe in you that no matter where you are right now for the year, if you're behind where you want to be, keep fighting, attack the process, throttle down, do the things it takes to get to that next level, and you'll finish the year strong. And that's right. You're hearing me right. Finish the year strong. We're talking about finishing the year strong in round 9. Why would you wait until round 11 or round 12 when there's a little bit of time left? Now is when we start throwing those jabs, setting them up with the jab, set them up with the jab, throw the cross, throw the uppercut. We got to start working at it one punch at a time, one day at a time. Do not give up. I felt like I couldn't get up off that mat of life, but I never gave up. It's what got me back to the top, and I know it'll be the same for you. For those of you who are watching this who are saying, I already hit my goals, challenge yourself to go bigger. Finish strong. You'll see in your handout for this month, there are different sections, exercises that you can go through to challenge yourself to be organized, to be disciplined, to be intentional, to finish the year strong. It comes down to managing your pipeline. What are your open opportunities? What are the current closed opportunities? And then are you doing the necessary steps to continue to open business, to put it into your pipeline, to finish the year strong, to close business? That's why a prize fighter day is so significant. A prize fighter day. If you don't know what a prize fighter day is, you haven't been paying attention to the first 9 rounds, go back and check them out. The prize fighter day, that's your focus on the activities that create victories every single day rather than holding on to results that you can't control. It's the daily disciplines that drive success. It was those 20 points of contact for me. It's the 20, the 30, the 40 phone calls for you. The number of times you ask for referrals for you. It's the things that you can control that fill that pipeline. And the beauty of a prize fighter day is that you focus on the day that's right in front of your face to drive to that next level of success. So if you sold something that was really big yesterday, it doesn't matter because you're worried about the prize fighter day, what you have today, giving your all today, being relentless to the action steps it takes to be successful today. It doesn't matter what you made yesterday or lost yesterday. It doesn't matter how many closes you have set up for tomorrow. What matters is whether or not you're willing to do the work, to grind, to attack the process, to be successful. And today's the only day that you have. Grind. Embrace your prize fighter day. Embrace the daily disciplines. That's how you will fill your pipeline. It's the same way that you'll move people from an open opportunity to a closed opportunity by picking up the phone, scheduling them for a close, educating, being engaged in the sales process, being intentional and moving them to close. And that's why you have to continue to prospect, continue to dial the phone, because when something moves from open to closed, you're putting new opportunities into the open category and the business keeps going regardless of ups and downs. That's where you want to be in your business. That's where I want you to be in your business. The second exercise after you've gone through the organization and the management of your pipeline, where you are right now, take an opportunity to slow down and brainstorm. Are there any opportunities that you've missed? Are there trainings that you've been through this year? Are there things I've shared with you through these first 8 rounds, now we're in the 9th round, that maybe could make a difference, but you didn't slow down to really work on it? Are there individuals that you should be calling that you haven't called yet? You'll see there's a gorgeous picture of this brain. We know the difference is mental toughness. Your success is not just about changing your habits, it's about changing the way that you think. So you'll see that brain. We're going to brainstorm, write down on paper what are opportunities that you've missed. Do you need to go back and revisit things that you've learned? What are the small action steps that might just be the difference for you to finish your year strong? And then the third exercise, I know you could have guessed this one. I know you could have guessed this one. Your prize fighter day. I know you're probably, some of you are like, is he really saying that again? Prize fighter day? Yes, every month, because I live it every single day. And the individuals that we work with that have won Super Bowl championships, NCAA championships, running $100 million companies, $50 million companies, Fortune 100 companies, their leaders, top sales professionals around the world, they all have prize fighter days. Why? Because if they can focus on the daily activities to create victories based upon their effort, their activity, rather than results they can't control, that's a relentless win for the day, and you stack those on top of each other, it's impossible to not grow, no matter how many times you get knocked down. The prize fighter day, remember, is built of things you can control personally, professionally, or athletically, and in your service to others. When people are living a balanced life, if you're eating healthy, you're working out, you're spending time with family, you're engaged, you're intentional, you're being where your feet are, whatever that personal initiative is for the prize fighter day for you, when you operate personally where you want to be, it impacts the professional. When professionally you're doing what it takes to be successful, you're focusing on the activities, you're attacking the process regardless of the good or the bad, the day that's right in front of you. We just talked about it. It impacts how you feel personally. It's all intertwined. And then the best part, that third piece, it's that service piece. When you give more of your heart, your fire, your conviction, your passion out into the world, you will get back in return. This is what many people fall short with when it comes to sales. They want to get to the next level. They say, I want to study this sales language. I want to study this. I want to study that. They forget the mental side. Just like an athlete, talent is not enough. Managing, being organized, being intentional, and focusing on the things that you can control is almost more important than the things that you say in the sales process. Now, a final story that I have for all of you. Powerful, powerful story. Now, many of you know I'm a huge, huge boxing fan. Love boxing, love the fights. I love that analogy. I've actually written a book about my mom, came out in 2009, called Fight the Good Fight, because my mom's the greatest champion of life, the greatest prize fighter I've ever known. But in addition to my mom's big fight, and you know that if any of you follow us on social media, Instagram, Periscope, @ContinuedFight, come check us out. I'll bring you fire every single day. It's all about that continued fight. I love that analogy. But my grandpa used to come over and watch the fights. We'd watch Tyson fight. That's right. For those of you that are old enough, for those of you that are young enough that have seen the videos, Tyson used to knock people out in like the first round. It was crazy how amazing he was. So much talent. Raw talent. But you know how he learned to hone that talent? When he had an individual, when he was making mistakes, that was there to look him dead square in the eyes, like I did to each and every single one of you at the start of this video. And I said, I believe in you. Mike Tyson was a troubled young man. By 12 years old, he was arrested 38 times. At 12 years old, he met a man by the name of Cus D'Amato. Cus D'Amato is one of the most famous boxing trainers of all time. Trained the great Floyd Patterson. Trained Mike Tyson. He took Mike Tyson under his wing, and he allowed all of his anger and frustration with life as a kid growing up on the streets. He learned to hone it into putting his energy, his faith, his passion, his conviction into his work in that ring. By 14 years old, Mike Tyson was a national champion, and he was knocking out grown men. Cus D'Amato looked Mike Tyson dead square in the eyes and said, son, if you follow my map to success, you will be a local champion. You will be a regional champion. You will be a national champion. And you will be the youngest heavyweight champion to ever walk the face of the earth, but you must follow my map to success. I currently hold the record, Mike. When I trained Floyd Patterson is currently the youngest at 21 years old. You can beat that record. It's in you, Mike. What Cus D'Amato was sharing with Mike Tyson were those words I shared with you. I believe in you. These 9 rounds, we've been sharing a proven roadmap for success. If you want to go to that next level, if you want to finish your year strong, grab a hold of this roadmap, run with it, make it yours, attack the process, and execute. It's exactly what Mike Tyson did. And Mike Tyson, just as Cus D'Amato told him he would be, at 20 years old, became the youngest heavyweight champion to ever walk the face of the earth. I can't wait to be with each and every single one of you for round 10. Until next time, continue to attack the process. Get up off that mat of life one more time than you've been knocked down. I believe in you. Go do great things.